strong.
Oh, this is Funny Minds. I'm your host. My co-host is
Edward Biss. How are you?
Today we have the crazy man on. Mack, a.k.a. Steven, or Steven, a.k.a. Mack, however you want to look at it.
Mack. In comedy, they call him Max Cheese.
Oh, Mack is an author. He's a comedian. And he doesn't know how to do the internet, but that's okay.
I'm not a Zoom technician.
You're not a Zoom technician. Welcome to our show. How are you?
Thank you for having me, Lynn. It's Edward.
Good to have you.
Funny. Yeah, it's great to have
Really
you.
good to have you.
I'm so happy that you accepted. Now I'm happy that you got to get on. It's funny.
You know, like everything in life, a work day. You know, I gave it that good old college try. And then,
Yes.
So you went to school. You were going to be a pain management doctor. You got hooked on opioids, I guess, yourself.
I was on enough drugs till the Jackson 5 from the doctor.
Okay.
And the drugstore has the best drugs. If anybody's wondering, they have the best drugs. For a reason.
So you helped yourself to a lot of drugs, eh?
Well, you know, you need the right hook, and I had a pain management doctor, so they're getting me Dilaudid, Oxycontin, fentanyl, methadone at the same time.
Wow.
And I was teaching anatomy at the community college in Reno, and I'd have a fentanyl sucker, a 1,600. They're the strongest suckers. I get 48 of them a month, and I'd walk around and I'd be teaching, and then I'd go home and smoke a bowl, and that would actually help me relate to my students.
Oh, jeez.
Opiates makes you a numb zombie, and then I smoke a little cannabis, and then I'm like, oh, I got a great analogy for this. I understand how that works, and then everybody would be happy.
Oh, my God. So you... Go ahead, Em. Yeah.
Well, I was going to say...
I was going to say, you know, we seen you wound up teaching over at University of Nevada. Where did you grow up? Did you grow up in Nevada?
I was born in Utah.
Utah, okay.
I was born with the LDS plus virus, and they tried to, 8 years old, they tried to dunk me in water and make it become full-born Mormon.
You
I
escaped.
escaped that. We moved to Nevada, and then I became a lesbian, and they kicked me out.
Nice. That's. I realized early on I was a lesbian. You know.
Okay.
I just stayed in the closet.
I won't go into that too much, but
No, that makes sense. I was, that stood out to me, University of Nevada, and I was just kind of curious where you grew up, and obviously being in Utah and being around the Mormons is that's a whole story in and of itself. But what drew you to biology and wanting to be a doctor and wanting to go down that road into pain management?
Yes, to unmute. We can't hear you again. Oh, my goodness.
is it back?
Yeah, we're back. Yeah. We're back.
So I did a lot of athletics, and I was hurt a lot because I had baseball, football, and wrestling, and I was good. So I was in physical therapy a lot because I hurt my back. I threw my shoulder out, and I'd been there. So first I wanted to go into physical therapy because I like people. And I work with people, and I played sports and like that, so it was like we could.
I hear that.
It was something I could enjoy and give back because we all want to do something we enjoy.
Right. I think it's because we have two screens going. That's what I think it is, because I have you on two screens.
Oh, that would make sense.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because he joined and we were already on.
Maybe.
And he was already on? I don't know. But I hear a sweet echo.
Yeah. Are you gone again? I can hear you.
Okay, I put my earbuds in to see if that would help.
Oh,
Oh, it did.
That's a lot.
Totally solved.
Helping me hear everything.
The birds aren't chirping anymore.
I was freaking out for a minute.
Like,
I love the bird chirping too. I was wondering how they followed me into the room.
Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously it makes sense. I mean, you spend all those years playing sports, getting banged up. I did the same thing. I know. And that does put you in a position where you could have some serious injuries that start lingering at a young age. You know, so that makes sense.
Well, I'm writing another book, which is more addiction focused. And it goes into kind of what, talking about the Mormonism, because there's a whole lot of things there. And I've understood now that I use physical pain initially to treat emotional trauma, and then opiates numb them both.
Yeah.
It goes so hard, and when you're hurt, that's the first thing all you focus on, because your hierarchy of needs is your physical body and pain. So if you have a broken bone or something, you're focused on that. You don't focus on all the other crap.
Right.
Even though I instilled the injury a lot of times with that, but then I got through sports, I was just always injured, but always keep going. That was how you're fine. And then I blew out the cyst in my back. And had back surgeries at 20, which they started in high school. I herniated the bottom two discs, L4 and L5. And then I just started drinking heavily first, but instead of self-medicating from the pain and the emotional trauma, I didn't, recognize it, didn't acknowledge that for a long time, because that wasn't, mature enough and developed to actually handle that. So then I've kind of come to realize after I stopped drinking here 2 years ago and everything, that's what was really happening. And that's why I'm writing the other book, because it's help a lot more people. Because a lot of people I know are dealing with that, and they don't even understand that that's what they're dealing with. Because the mind is very tricky and it's very smart. So it'll, like, I have these herniated discs in my back now. Now I have a ruptured disc above where I'm fused, and then a herniation above that. I don't have any pain. All my muscle pain went away when I finally acknowledged different trauma from reading different books. One is John Sorno's about treating chronic pain without medications.
Right.
Because stress is causing a lot more of us, a lot more problems than people want to we don't want to recognize that. We don't want to think it's psychosomatic, which doesn't mean it's all in your head. It means that your brain is cognitive. That's where all my muscle stuff, 25 years. I understand now where all from.
So all of this took place like 25 years ago. Is that what you're saying? Like,
yeah.
You lost your legs. You almost lost your life, the whole 9 yards.
That was like 15, 6. That was when I was 20. I just turned 28.
Wow.
Yeah. And I'm 44. I just turned 44 the end of November.
Okay.
And yeah. And then in between then, go ahead.
So that happened to you at 28. How long was the lead up? But did you start when you were in high school?
No, college, right?
Yeah, I was drinking then, but I didn't start taking pain pills until my first back surgery at 20. And then so about 8 years, give or take, severity or how much, Yeah, I didn't do much until after my fusion at 22. And right before that, they gave me Percocet. And I never really took it before, because I'd be like, oh, you're a tough guy, you don't need this. And I would just drink. And then I got Percocet. I'm like, whoa, man, I feel great. And I was a rock star student because I could sit there and focus. I'd go to the library. I'd be there for 12 hours and just doing organic chemistry and proofs and writing them out. You're just high at the time. You don't recognize you're high at the time. You're just on all of your Oxycontin.
Yeah.
Percocet. I'm having a Percocet, man. You can watch out.
But it's amazing too how you hear this, time and time again. I mean, it's the easiest way to fall into that.
Yeah.
But primarily when you talk about injuries, the number one is always the back.
Yeah.
For everybody.
Yeah. That's
usually the greatest of hindrances and pain, and because you don't know how important your back is until you don't have it.
No. And it's something that nobody can see, and you can't it's there, but it's like you said, it's the center of our body. It's the center of everything. Once it's down, it affects everything else.
Right.
When I heard that in high school, I didn't recognize it. I all of a sudden got really slow. Like I was lightning quick, and all of a sudden I'm getting picked out on the bases and everything. And my mom told me I was too young to have back problems, so that I just just dealt with it. And,
Yeah.
you know, I don't deal with anything.
Right.
I mean, you know, you didn't realize it was an age specific thing because it's not. But
I know.
Yeah.
I love football, but then I sit there and I watch those guys playing, and I say, boy, when they come off that field at the end of the game, they must be in a lot of pain, because your body wasn't made to take those kind of hits and falls and 20 people jumping on top of you and everything else. And not that it's just football, you know, a lot of sports there's a lot of contact that, you know, is very hard. I mean, I got bowled over once, and oh my God, I couldn't breathe for like.
Yeah, my mom played for the 49ers when
Wait,
she was 22, and
I just,
you know, she took them from Montana back in the day. They did
oh, I wish I had my Montana. You kidding? He's
I
going.
think I saw it. I think I remember. Like,
She went from 5th string to 1st string.
I couldn't go all the way. I was going. No, somebody was running and they tackled me one time, and I thought, oh my God, I thought I was going to break in half. Horrible. What a horrible sensation.
what did you do?
I cried.
What did you do?
I cried.
You.
No, we were away.
You.
Jumping over
No, I mean,
the
why
fire.
did you see? Well, this is just kind of my condition. It would be like, why did you get tackled? What was your fault to get tackled?
Yeah, really.
I was.
Why did you make them hit you and knock you down like that?
I thought you were the
running.
human joystick. You have no Tyreek Hill in you.
No, I know.
So, you know, that's, you know, obviously, Stephen, that is, you know, amongst other injuries, the number one. So when you're you know, dealing with that early on, that's scary.
tough.
And back in those days, you know, obviously the knowledge wasn't quite there yet, you know,
Oh yeah, no.
not to where it is now.
Yeah.
And how many
Yeah, you
people have
could-
been lost.
You could be dying and nobody's going to give you a pain pill for anything anymore.
That's the truth. No, like it was a couple years ago, I had a car accident or something, and I broke 3 ribs, and I just had my nose fixed, but they re-shattered that. My collarbones all broke up, and they're like, "Oh, you have a history of opiate abuse." I'm like at first, because the adrenaline, you're fine. I hopped out of the car and I have a leg, and then an hour and a half later, I'm just like, "Oh, we can't give you anything."
Take Tylenol.
I'm going to go score some smacking, but you guys are doing. You're like, "Oh, I have a vaccination, but I'm going because you guys all give me a little bit of a break." Well, the problem is that the doctor, I've recognized, they're suffering from the syndrome themselves. It's called CYAS. It's cover your
own ass.
So they ask you, "Oh, well, how do you feel?" "Well, let's see what mark will make me not get in trouble and not get a lawsuit."
And not lose my license. That's right.
Instead of the pain level chart, they have the liability level chart.
Yeah.
That's when it switched, because first Purdue Pharma pushed the pain level chart, because that wasn't even there until Purdue Pharma made OxyContin. This is something they made OxyContin, and then pain doctors, that whole industry developed. And then the pain charts all up to fit, you know. And then after 2000, when they started getting lawsuits, then it turned to the liability chart. And they're like, "Oh, we pushed it too far. Now we're coming back. So now we just cut them all off." Get that liability number up there. Oh,
That's right.
quite clear you would to sue.
Well, I'm down here in Florida. I'm in Tampa. And, you know, I've watched everything that's gone on. And I didn't realize that this was at one time, the holy grail mecca of pill, you know, farms over here, and how many people were literally driving from halfway across the country, all the way down here, to line up and just get everything.
Pills.
I mean, it's amazing, amazing.
I bet it was because of all the retirees that are getting all their pills from their doctors, and then that's how they kind of fool up, because they got all these scripts that they don't need. They go in there, and so they'll. I bet that's what it was. You had a whole
also too, once these doctors they started forming groups, and they would open up one practice, and it was so successful that they would just spawn 20 more. So one group of guys would open up 20 pill mills just by themselves.
Yeah.
You know,
There's so much money.
That helped widespread, because they seen, and they were being left alone at that time, and it was just money pouring in. Were better than any casino. But yeah, people were dying left and right.
Back. With everybody on all that dope, you're coming back. You don't have to worry about somebody that's thrown out an oxy showing up to their appointment unless they're dead.
Oh yeah,
that's true.
Plus, they were banging them for $150 to $200 fee to see him.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's a brilliant. Like, see, it's because I make a joke out of it, but it's really disturbing how they push Narcan now as the cure for opiate dependency, which is actually what it is a brilliant business plan, because you have these people that are dying from opiates, and you got to have people that are taking pills buy some pills too. So they buy the Narcan, so they have it, and then when one of their customers is dying, they can save them. Don't get them off the pills.
Yeah, just save them.
They make more customers. They're saving their customers, and they're getting more because now everybody needs to carry Narcan.
I know, but it's a brilliant. Whoever thought of the marketing on that was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Completely disturbed and brilliant. I mean,
disturbed, but they're brilliant.
Well, it's scary to think that people like that are sitting down and plotting and planning and scheming how to do it and how to get away with it and how to profit as much as possible, even though in the end you're going to get banged for some. Let's put aside a couple billion. So that we'll just cough that up later. Yeah, that'll be our lawsuit. And then we take the other 120 billion and we put it up.
Yeah, I know.
But it is a necessary evil. People are in pain. I worked at a hospital. I've seen it. And, there has to be some type of happy medium, no matter what position you've been in. Because no one deserves to, suffer. But there are other alternatives. And like you're talking about, being able to get through pain without pain meds by doing, by going into different areas.
I've had to do a lot of restructuring of my brain and everything to get off the pills. And then, like I said, reading things that cause my body and meditation and different things, and a whole lot of work, because it wasn't easy, but it's much more effective and it keeps me the same person. But it's not like you said, everybody can't just jump to do that. Like, I have this one pain doctor in Reno, and she'd start you on whatever dose you needed, and then she'd gradually work you down, and she taught mindfulness meditation courses that would help you to start dealing with the pain. And then once you're cleared out of everything, your body starts producing natural endorphins and other pain relievers.
Right.
So it's hard to get there, and then most of the doctors aren't helping anyone get there. They're just helping you. They're just telling you you're a junkie or here's some pills, one or the other. They don't really deal with helping, so it's really tough.
Yeah.
So now you do speaking engagements? Do you go around?
I'm working into that. I'm trying to figure that out.
Well, it's a natural progression, should be for you, because you have one hell of a story to tell, and it really can help and really help a lot of people.
That's what I'm looking for. Like with the whole, be the pot of gold,
and yes.
And make the rainbow. Like in my speech I wrote, that's like, when people ask me how I lost my leg, I look down to make sure it's still there, because I don't see it. It's expensive. I can't afford to lose it. And it's not my privilege.
Exactly. Oh, wait, what do you have on there? Is that a corn?
It's my space girl. Because I said, Chris, if I take my leg off, I like the Grand Canyon. I just did the Grand Canyon. I went down the South Trail.
Good for you.
Up the Bright Angel, and I take pictures of my prosthetic leg the whole way. I take it off and have it all over everywhere. Kind of so people see it, because people's like, oh, I can't do that. Is that a prosthetic leg?
Yeah. That's cool.
I'm sure he put that in their backpack.
Yeah.
That's not
So you just walk up to someone and go, listen, I found this behind this cactus over here. Have you seen anybody opping around here?
My ex-girlfriend in Vegas almost lost my leg at Hoover Dam. That's
like over the side.
Well, we were just past it. We're overlooking, and I was down there with my cousin and showing her around. And I had a different leg, and it was suction, and I lost suction, and it popped off. And I'm like, I need to take my leg. Okay. And then she grabs my leg, and I hop over the car, And then she comes back in, and then we drive across the dam, and we get over where the new, several years ago, where there's a new bridge across. I'm like, oh, yeah, do you want me to go check out the new bridge? Okay. And I go, okay, Tineke, I'm on my leg. Oh my gosh. Hey, I forgot your leg. I forgot your leg. You forgot.
How could you forget my leg?
And she's, oh, you're not even mad. You're not even like, I don't think there's a giant market for stolen prosthetic legs across the country.
Hey, Steven, you'd be surprised. You'd find it on eBay 2 weeks after that
That's true.
for like 50 grand.
I sold one on eBay actually to write my book, to buy a car. That's how I got a car.
Did you
I
really?
sold a sea leg on eBay. No, for real, I did.
They're worth money. They really are.
I gave the guy a pretty good deal because it was almost brand new for $3,500. They're like 30 grand.
I was going to say, I thought they were about
I was
30
giving
G's.
parts. I'm like, I don't need to put in both of this. You can have that.
Oh my God.
That's funny.
funny.
Or someone comes up to you, or they, the funny thing is when people walk up and they like, and they have to say it to you, like, oh my God, that's a prosthetic leg. And you're like, no.
It is. Really?
I also have I have a prosthetic neck too. It's pretty cool.
And you stay with me long enough.
I'd be at the bar when I used to drink, and I would sometimes have my leg off, and they come over and you mind if I ask how you lost my leg? Do you mind if I ask you how you got your car stolen? It's not in the parking lot anymore. I think that's funny. I think that's funny.
Or you get the Uber drunks who come up and go, man, we would just want to do a shot out of your leg, man.
I was in, it was
Like it's not food.
somebody, I have it on YouTube. Well, I have it on my Instagram, but I was sitting there, and one of the comics that I was a comedian I performed to, he came up and grabbed my leg and took it out there and put a beer and drank it on stage.
No.
Yes.
Oh my God. I'd be like, you better wash that out now.
You're right.
Yeah.
Wind up getting a DUI later because of my leg.
They're gonna test my leg.
I can smell the booze.
Hey, Steven, talk about the comedy, man. Talk about when you got started,
Yeah.
how you got started, and where you want to go with it.
Well, I think I'm more transitioning into the motivational speak.
Mm-hmm.
But I started the comedy about 11 or 12 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just, I get out and start doing things, and I knew I had something to share. Like I have, not that this matters, but I'm almost the same birthday as Richard Pryor, and I have I have a really crazy Richard Pryor type story about how I lost my leg, which is why you do not want to sign a do not resuscitate order. That all the free drugs I got when I was in a coma, TMT, Joe Rogan was wanting the TMT that I was doing in a coma. I was traveling the world in this magical trip with this girl I knew for my life. They was feeding me drugs and taking me to orgies. So it was heaven. There people were like, the doctor woke me up and he was like, oh, I have no leg. And I'm like, what's, chastising me. I'm like, man, cut the bud still. Put me back where I was at.
I was going to say, I was like, man, I was happy. Put me back there.
Yeah, right.
Or you have to wake me up and, oh, yeah, you got no leg. I knew I had no leg for my coma, but it was all right. Like I had somebody, we were doing like scuba diving and all kinds of tricks. I mean, we were in the Mediterranean, scuba diving after each that group to go have orgies with Greek women. It was wonderful. And then all of a sudden, oh yeah, you wake up and I'm completely swollen up, ridiculous bad because I aspirated the drown in my vomit. I came down I came down like the World Trade Center, stacked on top of myself.
Wow.
Which is why I totally stayed that I traded my leg for my life back. Because if I was not on top of my legs in this little ball, they would have found me 19 hours. They said it was 18 to 20 hours later from all the necrosis and everything else there. Then I definitely would not survive because if my blood was going to my other organ systems, if I wasn't in this little tiny ball, like I got a scar down my face because I was laying on my arm. And so it really, if my legs were out there, I would not have made it. And I can't.
So you're here for a reason. You're here for a reason. You've got to look at it that way. You were left on this earth for a reason, and motivational speaking probably is why you were left on this earth.
Yeah.
Let's get real. let's get really serious now. No, I'm kidding.
No, I would agree without a doubt.
Well, yeah, definitely.
Because you see too much of it go the other way.
Yeah. You got to go to high schools and colleges and stuff like that. Forget about, well, you can go to the older people because, they're a bunch of lunatics anyhow. Once you were...
Don't go to colleges. Those kids need
the high
pills. They these days, don't go to a college.
Kind of true there.
Those kids really need a lot of pills, man. Don't go to a college. Go anywhere but a college.
If I need to get some pills, I could go to the college.
Well, this
Yeah, true.
I want to go to pills, I go to college.
Those will make you feel like back when you were in that coma, though. Those are the good ones.
yeah, I mean, going to like bigger companies and stuff like that. I mean, there's a lot of people,
Without
that,
yeah.
I mean, they can't survive day to day without being on something, and then
Because they're not doing anything they like.
well, that's true. That is true. Most people don't have a job that they really like. It's very hard to find that happy medium, and when you do, you better keep it because somebody else is around the corner looking to take it from you. So, the corporate world, but I think high schools are really good because the kids in high school, or even in, but I don't know if they would let you talk to people in grammar school because they're so impressionable at that age.
Let them talk about porn now.
Well, but they're so
drugs they need to hear about.
But they're really impressive.
Story time with Tranny.
Exactly. You might as well prepare for something serious.
I don't know. When I was in college,
Kids are hilarious because they see me and they see I'm a robot, and that's what they think. Because I'll be walking around and there'll be a kid and he'll be, what?
where's your lightsaber?
I just start laughing and turn around.
It's like this leg only cost me $6 million.
Yeah. And you could
Because
have
I got
one
it.
too.
I got it in the 70s. There's only 6 million. I could fight Bigfoot with this.
All right. So who do you want to speak to? Who are the people that you would like to talk
Like
to?
high schoolers because they're
Yeah.
like anybody actually. The high school is a lot because they're still excited about life.
Yeah.
This whole thing. That's why I love kids. Kids are still excited about life and they haven't been destroyed by people yet. That's why
Yeah.
They haven't been too destroyed.
ruined them. And so with everything that's wrong and this and they still will. That's why I do a joke on the older kids because then there will always be a parent there to destroy things. They'll be like, "Oh, sir, stop it, Tommy, sir, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry." And the joke is, "Well, yeah, you should be apologizing, but your kid for destroying any sense of curiosity that guy's never gonna have again. I thought you'd take a club out and start beating him." He's like, "Oh, look at the robot leg! Oh, look at the robot leg! It's there, lady, it's there. You're treating me like a leopard. You like football because you like it." He's just like, "Wow, this is interesting."
Now you've offended him.
Yeah,
Were. You visually offended him.
No, I think
yeah.
I think high school is very good. I think, bigger corporations would be really good, and they would, you'd be surprised at how many people we've had on our show that, the corporations really like to invite people in to talk to their, employees on a lot of different things. And this is a subject I think that they would really like, that they would go for. I really think so. I'm not talking about your mom and pop type of companies. I'm talking about big corporations, the big dogs, And,
Well, especially corporations that deal with, hospitals and medical tragedies. And there's just so many businesses that their livelihoods revolve around that have someone come and speak about that being here still. And
and
it's always valuable, always valuable. High school kids, I see the value because that's when it's going to start.
Yeah.
If you're going to catch it, you're going to catch it then. They're
Yeah.
not starting this stuff in grammar school. I mean, let's be honest. They're starting too much other crap, but not really that. But high school, absolutely.
Oh, high school is a definite. High school is a definite. But don't count out the older kids in the grammar school. Like 6th, 7th, 8th grade. Don't count them out. I'm not talking about the
smart. They're a lot smarter.
You're right. They are.
Credit for. They're like
They are. Like a junior high type of thing. High school.
Yeah, junior high, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Well, the one speech I wrote, I'd go into my leg, I'd pop off and say, I didn't always have a removable leg. But then I go into 3 points, and it's like PMS is not necessarily a bad thing. What I'm talking about is perspective is everything. Mistakes do not define you, and success is different for everyone.
Okay.
The other PMS I can't really speak to because I've been a male my whole life.
No, that's pretty good. I like that.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
The comedy in there, right?
Exactly. You got.
Grabs way more.
Oh yeah, you can't be like so deadpan serious because
Well,
it
helps
you have
put
to.
it helps people put their guard down because
Exactly.
if they feel it's like this is a tension-filled, overly serious thing with violins and angels flying around, but you crack that and you get them to drop their guard, then they're gonna go, all right, this isn't what I thought. Now this is cool. That's
exactly.
I want to hear this.
Yeah, definitely. You have to add. I believe you have to really add humor to everything in life.
Mm-hmm.
Everything you do has to have some aspect of humor to it. Because because what?
It's icing on anything.
Oh yeah, it is.
Oh yeah. It doesn't matter what it is. It's some
it is because that's the positive area of your life. Your humor is going to be the positive area that you put forth in your life. So, and I'm just a very big component of a positive outlook on things. We all can be grumpy and cranky.
It gets you a lot further than being pissed off.
Oh yeah, it certainly does. That's for damn sure. Nobody wants to really deal with a crank and a piss pot.
You can keep going down, like being pissed off. Every time I get mad, like it's just like, okay, the cops are gonna come off. It's always having a great day, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna just destroy that, which I'm turned around. Different conditioning here we'll have.
I'll tell you what, Steven, I don't know what it is about anybody who has lost their leg, but for some reason, they seem to have obviously one hell of a story and an even bigger sense of humor about it. I was at a dog park by my house. This is where all the magic happens, at dog park. You need anything crazy to happen in your life, just go to a dog park. So I'm doing my thing, and this guy comes up to me, and he's got a prosthetic leg, and he starts talking to me, and he's like, "Oh, you got a Cavalier King Charles? I used to have one," and it just breaks the conversation, and we start talking. This guy's a live wire. And I see the prosthetic leg, but I'm not commenting on it. We're just chit-chatting, and he opens up with, so I had this parachuting accident, and he goes, I don't know if you watched America's Most Insane Videos, but I was on it. And he was being serious. And I said, get out of here. And I'm waiting for it. I'm like, okay, what happened? He goes, well, I had a skydiving accident. And when he was landing, he was trying to steer himself, and he lost control, and he flew. I don't know if you ever recall the video, but I've seen it, and I've remembered it. He went flying across a parking lot, and he hit a car.
Oh, wow.
So he hit the car so hard that he damaged his hip. He broke his femur. I mean, he damaged his bones and everything. So bad that they had no option but to amputate his leg. And he's a NASA scientist with the most insane sense. And I sat at the dog park for 2 hours talking to this guy, and but his sense of humor about it, but his sense of humor overall was just, I was like, man, I gotta have you on my show. But just, it's just crazy things happen to people for whatever reason. It just happens. And there's no, that's an eye-opening experience when you have to wake up and go, oh my God, my leg is gone. Yeah. And have to wrap your head around that moment, and then to persevere past that and regain a sense of humor about it is incredible. Incredible.
It is. And you look like you have a great sense of humor. Yes.
That's what I mean by the whole pizza particle make rainbow. Like, that's a storm. We all have storms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Storm.
Yeah.
And you need a storm to grow. Nothing grows in the desert. Like if we didn't have gravity, that pressure pushed down to our bodies wouldn't grow. But the storm can either, I say, we can change this as an alchemist into the pot of gold, and you shine through and make the rainbow. Or you have more storms until you do.
Yeah.
There's going to be more storms, or you're going to figure something out.
Yeah.
Everybody has a storm. Everybody's storm is different, you know?
Yeah.
Everybody's
Everybody's is different. No. So
Some of ours cross over.
Like because everybody is dealt with different things certain ways, so it's all trained to deal with things. So like you can't. I hate it when people everything is different. So it's like all our stuff's hard.
I get I don't get annoyed. I just people that have like a negative attitude. They're always like, oh, and this pissed me off, and that pissed me off, and I try to keep people like that out of my life because I feel like it's a hindrance. Yeah, like, why do I need to hear how pissed off you are 25 million times a day? Like, find a way to deal with life and with people and yourself, But it's like having 10,000 pounds on your back being, with that person, and I'll say, like, why are you pissed off? What are you pissed off? You've got a roof over your head. You've got food in your mouth. You've got clothes on your back. What are you pissed off about? Because somebody got ahead of you in a lane, or, somebody has a little bit more than you have, or, like it's always like.
That's only in Florida.
Like it's not like they pulled a knife on you and tried to cut your arm off or, whatever, So it's like so hard to deal with people like that. Find the positive points in life. Have the humor, have an uplifting attitude. And your life will be so much more different.
It'll dye your hair purple.
And dye your hair purple.
That is always the help.
Yep.
Yes.
Right. Cure
yes.
Immediately. Like that. Stephen, are you
there's been more studies on that than there have actually on
probably. Real ones at least.
Yeah, real.
Stephen, are you married? Children? Anything? No?
I don't
single and happy?
I'm really unsure, but
you're not into it?
I almost divorced once in my 20s. And then
I would recommend just get a dog.
And get it to them.
Well, they're smiling and happy. Yeah. Like the dog park. Because I'll come around people and they got a humping dog and I just still let
you just throw a hot dog on your leg and just, but there you go.
I don't know. Go at it.
Almost advertising.
You just hand him some wipes. At least be courteous and clean my leg when he's done.
You're right.
Oh, they don't. It takes about one pump and they're like, that hurts. That is not.
That does not feel good.
That is no good. That's no bueno.
It's not what I'm used to.
No más.
Then they just started pee on it. Like, it's more like a tree. Let me do that.
That's why I had to get a new microprocessor. The one I sold before, the microprocessor, you couldn't get it wet. Dog peed on it. This one, it just smells like this. Like urine.
That's funny. Well, unfortunately, we're going to have to go because, we have another podcast that we have to do, but, but I'd love to have you back on the show, like in about 6 months where, don't get rid of the Zoom. Keep the Zoom.
Yes, keep the Zoom.
Oh, I could show, here's a picture of my book.
We want to know where people can find you.
You can find this on Amazon. But me, I have my, I am Real Mack Steve at, I'm Real Mack Steve at Instagram, ITREALSTEV, MAC. Just write it here.
It's Real Mack Steve. Well,
Real Mack Steve. That's what I've turned everything in. Like my email is even Real Mack Steve.
Mm-hmm.
My Instagram, my YouTube. I got some Daredevil stuff and I got some comedy stuff on Instagram. I do some of my adventure things like our Instagram and YouTube.
Okay.
Like the Grand Canyon, the 28th app posts there. And I have some stuff I'm throwing flips off of things. Like I do a backflip at Lake Powell. I went in and I typed on this clip and then it was a 1.5, but then I'm at Clear Lake There's one spot you can hike down Crater Lake and jump in. And there's this little building that says, don't climb on there, but I needed better footing. So I climbed down. And I'm chucking the backflip off of that. The first time I did it, too, and then I'm swimming over, and nobody, because I didn't tell anybody. And then these people are like, oh, where'd you come from? Well, I just see the backflip off of that. And then I get out of the water, and
Oh my God.
I'm like, yeah, you want to see me do it again? I wanted somebody to tell me. If you guys would just help me get up there, I left my leg up there. It's always comedy.
Oh my God.
With having one leg.
You know what would have been funny, Steve? If you would have filmed, when you're in the Grand Canyon, if you would have filmed like a little scene where like you're walking along and one of your friends goes, well, hold on, rattlesnake. And it comes up and it bites your prosthetic leg. And you're like, God damn it. Again? Yeah. It's just hanging off your leg.
Yeah, right. Bangs are like,
I was starting to write a movie script. It's called Campus Escort, because I worked this thing called the Campus Escort in college. And one thing that we did was there was this baby steamroller next to our house, and coming home drunk at night, they left the keys in it. My one friend jumped on it and hijacked that. And we're going over. He's from Pennsylvania, and they're Penn State fans, so they just had it so they could run over all their own crap. But I wanted to write for the movie that when we threw this giant party, that it was like the party steam, and they get the steamroller, and I was going to play the part, and they were going to steamroll over my prosthetic leg. So go up and out of it. And traumatized some people, but it would be very funny.
Yeah.
it would be funny. It would traumatize them. It'd be funny.
That would be awesome.
If you put some blood in there.
Oh, God. All right. Well, you can find us. We're going to see you again in 6 months. And people can find us on funnyminds.com. And when you go on, you will see that we have a store with crazy little things. And also there's 2 organizations that we're very aligned to, and that's St. Jude's Children's Hospital and Women's Breast Cancer. So there's a big purple heart on there. You can click that, and it's Christmas time. It's the new year, and people looking for, write-offs and donations. So, we'd be very happy to have you donate to our 2 organizations if you feel you have the ability to do so. And we thank you again for being on this show. Okay, sure. Go right ahead.
I didn't think about it. I have an Etsy store that has rainbow stuff on it.
Okay.
Stuff on it. These are all pictures that I take. Like this one is coming out of a cell tower. But other ones I have like a rainbow, like a bunch of different rainbow stuff because I really like it. But my Etsy store is Last Leg Productions.
Last
Leg Productions.
Last Leg Productions. Okay.
Last Leg Productions on Etsy.
Okay.
Pot of gold, that would be awesome. And donate to your guys is the St. Jude's. Breast cancer.
Yes.
Those are very good causes.
Yes.
So.
Awesome.
Yes.
It's a pleasure.
It was a pleasure having you on. You really are a funny guy. I'm sorry that things got so crazy in the beginning, but we ended up all right. So that's the most important thing. So everybody, be happy, be healthy, be wise, be considerate, non-judgmental, and laugh, because we all know that laughter is the best medicine. And be the pot of gold, because that's important too. Bye-bye now.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you, Edward. Thank you, Ed.
Look forward. Talk to you again soon.
Yes.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.